Hi, my name is Michael Trout, and I'm going to do a brief talk on Foundup Week and the importance of the Foundup Meetup groups. Now, the Foundup Meetup groups are a very specific group, I call it a workshop, to assist Foundups with their projects. Now, a Foundup is really concerned with only four things. Let me talk about Foundups a little bit. As you know, I keep saying a Foundup is a founder with an idea for a lean startup, bootstrapping a proof of concept. Really, the only four things that a Foundup is interested in is A, what it is, B, what's the pain, C, what's the solution, and finally, what's the outcome. A Foundup doesn't care about how it's going to make money. A Foundup doesn't care about all of those things that a startup has to care about. Remember, a Foundup is pretty much the pre-startup. A startup is a legal entity that either A, has a customer base supporting it, a niche customer base, or B, has investors providing some seed capital to get you to those niche customers in X amount of time, all right? And a Foundup basically is all that time period, that specific period of that idea to that startup, okay? So the meetup groups are workshops, and I call them FUMU, Foundup Meetup Group, right? FUMU groups. Now, FUMU groups basically start off with individuals doing their 60-second elevator pitch, because my perspective is you never know who you're going to be standing next to in the grocery line, the movie theater, and you better have your 60-second elevator pitch down. If you can't grab that person in 60 seconds, forget it. Nothing else matters. So what is an elevator pitch? Well, it's the same four things. What's your idea? What's the pain that's out there? What's your solution to that pain? And then what's your outcome that you expect to happen? It's very simple. Those four things make up your elevator pitch. You don't worry about financials and how much money you're going to make or any of that. If you can capture that person with those four things, maybe they'll say, hey, let's meet and let's hear your investor presentation, which is the second part. So the second part of the meetup is actually one guy or girl who does their specific investor pitch. Again, you're doing those four things. Now, you're going to expand on those things. You have your idea, then you're going to talk about the pain. You may talk about some market research on the pain. You may talk about some statistical information, right? You have to do some research. You're going to talk about your solution. Well, what is your solution? You can talk about your team that's behind the solution. The team is very important. You can talk about your web page and also talk about your iterations that you're going to be doing over the next different phases. And finally, you're going to talk about your outcome. Well, what is your outcome? Your outcome is pretty much your return on investment. Your outcome are more detailed. Now, I said before, Foundup isn't focused on that. However, when you do an investor pitch, you're going to have to be. So, there's going to be some movement with that, or some expand. But it's not your primary. Don't get too hung up on it. You're not writing a business plan. You're doing a PowerPoint presentation, probably no more than 10 slides on it. Okay, that lasts no more than 10 minutes. Excuse me, 5 minutes. So what do the participants do? Well, participants give a very specific feedback on the material. So, for example, let's go back to your elevator pitch, your EV. At the end of it, everyone gives one bit of feedback on the physical presentation. Are you speaking loud enough? Is it too soft? What could you do? Are you using your hands too much? I don't know. Things like that. So it's just one. So you may have a list of 20 things that this guy needs to improve, but you have to select what's the most important thing. And if someone else says it, then you move to your second point. Does that make sense? The idea isn't to crucify the poor guy giving his Foundup speech. The idea is to provide him meaningful feedback that he can adapt and improve on. Okay, it's a workshop. Workshop it comes from really acting, and in workshops we play around and it's okay to fail. The whole idea of the Foundup Meetup group is to fail, because by failing, by making mistakes, you're going to improve, and that's the main thing. The second part then is what you're going to do is provide feedback on what? The idea, on the pain, on the outcome, on the solution, on the outcome. So again, you're giving very specific feedback on each of those things, going around the table. Now, that is it. That is the meetup group. It's a very simple thing. Anyone can run a meetup group. It's extremely beneficial to Foundups, and what you're going to find is you're going to see great improvement. And that brings me to the last point, great improvement. At the end of the meetup group, after the guy does his presentations, after you've gone through it all, you're then going to have the next iteration discussion, which is basically what are you going to achieve by next month? What can you achieve? What's doable? Where are you at? And how can you move this project forward? So the whole idea is that you're taking small steps in your Foundup, moving it to become a startup. So that discussion takes place and it's debated amongst the team of the folks. Remember, the team of the other members of the Foundup group really are your advisory executive board. They're there to help you. They're there to provide you that feedback that you need. So that's the meetup group. Now, why is the meetup group that important? Well, the meetup group is extremely important because the meetup group is made up of who? They're made up of entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are go-getters. Entrepreneurs are doers. So if I'm going to produce or want to produce something called Foundup Week, which I'll talk more later, but the meetup group becomes the producers of that event. The event is, trust me, is very, very simple. When I did the Shakespeare Festival, I would say it's at least 1,000 times more complicated, more time consuming, and maybe even more, 10,000 times. The Fringe Festival, and the word fringe is very important because you probably don't know what a fringe festival is, but a fringe festival is a very important term within the name, the Foundup Global Entrepreneurial Fringe Festival. So basically, the members of the meetup group will be the organizing committee for this 1 week long event. Now, they would have bonded by using the meetup groups. They hopefully would have expanded. There will be probably within a region, I hope, 5 or 6 meetup groups, each of them with 5 to 10 members, meeting at their specific location. So ultimately, each meetup location or each region is going to have quite a few meetup groups that can help with Foundup Week. The second thing is these Foundup groups, the FUMUs, kind of stupid name, but FUMUs, will be the ones that will manage the open incubators and actually probably have their projects within the open incubator. So they become the event producers, they become the open incubator managers, and ultimately their products become, or their Foundups become, the residents of those open incubators. Finally, there's something called Foundup Lab. Now, Foundup Lab is a 12-week to 18-week, depending on the venue. If it's a college, it's 12. If it's a high school, it's 18. And basically what we will do is be teaching, and we're going to be paying, again, FUMU members to teach and to lecture how Foundups are made. So the process that basically you're learning in the FUMU group, the Foundup Meetup group, I don't know if I like FUMU, sounds stupid, but anyway, is pretty much part of the process. So I'm not going to talk about the open incubator or anything else, but that should give you a very good understanding of what we're doing and how we're doing it. So if you have any questions, email me. My name's Michael Trout. You can email me at mtrout@foundups.com, or info@foundups.com will also get to me. Thank you very much for taking your time to listen, and I look forward to helping you with your next Foundup.